After more than 2 decades of military presence, the United States is expected to complete its withdrawal from Iraq by September 30th. And this is according to the reports. The whole move, it could end a mission that began with the 2003 US-led invasion of Iraq. Iraqi Prime Minister Mr. Ali al-Zaidi, he has called September 30 the fixed and final date for ending the US-led coalition's military mission and completing the withdrawal of American forces. Well, the announcement comes as the US remains engaged in heightened tension across the West Asia, including the war with Iran. In fact, the timing is significant because Iraq has been one of the central locations through which the United States has maintained its military presence in the region. For more than 2 decades, American troops have been part of a broader military mission that has shaped Iraq's security landscape and America's strategy across West Asia. You know what? The withdrawal, it also comes at a moment when the entire West Asia is already dealing with heightened military tension, regional alliance, and growing pressure involving the US and Iran. And that makes the planned September 30th deadline much more than a routine military timeline now. Well, for US, it means adjusting its regional military posture. For Baghdad, it means taking greater responsibility for its own security arrangement. For Iran, any reduction in the American military footprint in a neighboring country, it is closely watched. Well, the development, therefore, it carries implication far beyond the number of troops leaving Iraq. It is about how the US wants to position itself in the West Asia, how Iraq wants to define its future security role, and how regional powers respond to a changing American presence. But yes, while governments debate military strategy and regional power, another battle is happening inside American classrooms, and this one is being fought over something much smaller: the smartphone in a student's hand. As students across the United States return to schools this particular month, many will be confronting a new reality: classrooms without smartphones. That's right, educators and parents, they have been fighting a battle against influence of technology in the classrooms. Yet, many young people say that they have been left out of important conversations around school phone policy, which are now in effect in at least 39 states and Washington, D.C. Well, school organizers, they told The Guardian that they support screen time bans in school. But such policies often, they don't address the root cause of screen addiction, such as intense social pressure and feeling of isolation. Then in response, more students are advocating for their own digital well-being and developing programs to thrive in tech-free learning environment. In the meantime, Olivia Howard, basically a rising junior in New York State, recalled receiving her first iPad when she was in kindergarten. Well, for digital natives like herself, she said quitting their devices cold turkey, it was never going to be easy. Well, let me quote what she said. "We were the first generation to grow up on technology. If legislators, they are implementing these phone bans, we need to take into account the account like, what are the subsidies? Most kids her age," she said, "have relationship with tech, so there has to be another alternative to the replacement here." In the meantime, in California, a new state law took place on 1st July that requires school districts to develop policies that restrict phone use on campus. In fact, according to Ellis Choi, a junior at the Orange County School of the Arts, she said locking of devices is a step in the right direction but may not on its own be specifically effective, since the kid will always find a way around regulation. As a K-12 policy co-chief with the Jenna, Choi spent most of the year authoring and building a coalition for a state bill that would mandate district-wide digital wellness education, which teaches the student how social media and AI affect their mental health. She said, and I quote, "It's not a matter of how long we are on our devices, but what it's doing to us when we are on it." In general, the harm really extends beyond the classroom. Teens often stay up late scrolling on social media and texting, which can cause insomnia and affect their ability to focus on school. Now, add to that constant pressure to seek validation by, gardening more likes or maybe followers. She also said that our entire social lives are happening online. Digital wellness education, it is about giving students the understanding and skills to actually make better choices. In fact, there should be limits and understand the impact that it's having on our mental health. Over the past years, the campaign has supported 50 schools and reached 17,000 students across the state. Two teens in a rural area, noticing that phone use spiked after the art program was cut, placed rolling crafts cards around the campus where students could use art supplies during and after the school. And at another school, a teen used the mini grant to organize a phone free hunt where the students use disposable cameras to complete the challenges. So these are the alternative of banning of the phones. And this is how the young Americans, the future of America, they will grow, and that too not being on the screen. And yes, when American schools are trying to bring students back into the real world, nature itself is forcing millions of Americans indoors as severe storm tear the Midwest.